And with us still is our guest, Ambassador Gurjeet Singh. Ambassador Singh, thank you for your patience. Ambassador Singh, for the benefit of our viewers, joining us from around the world, is a former ambassador to Germany, Indonesia, Timor-Leste, the ASEAN, Ethiopia, Djibouti, and the African Union. Ambassador Singh, for the benefit of viewers who are not familiar with this so-called Trump's peace plan, what does this 28-point plan actually have to say?
The 28-point plan is so detailed that the Europeans were spending more time studying this than the G20 declaration.
Indeed.
And I think the sustainability and just transition have a different meaning if you study this plan. So essentially, if you break it down, I would say there are four broad things. The first is territory. So all that Russia has already absorbed, Ukraine is asked to give up. And some areas Ukraine is asked to vacate, which Russia wants, and they would be made into demilitarized zone with no Russian occupation but Russian sovereignty. So this, I think, is the most difficult part for Ukraine to accept. The second part is that there is a nuclear power plant which is going to be now placed, if this agreement goes through, under the IAEA, and that will divide the nuclear power 50-50 between Russia and Ukraine. The Ukraine has defense forces currently of about 880,000 people, vastly bigger than the 250,000 they had before the Russian war started. They will be asked to cut it down to 600,000. Further, the NATO entry of Ukraine will be sacrificed. There will be no NATO entry of Ukraine. However, Ukraine could aspire to an EU membership. So like this, the main points go on, and the Russians seem satisfied that this could be a good basis for the agreement because it seems to reflect most of the things they have told the US. Whereas whatever President Zelensky has been saying does not seem to have met with approval, and Zelensky, instead of rejecting these demands because he finds some of them unpalatable, is basically saying either I have my dignity or I lose a major friend, which is the United States, without whom actually neither the war nor Ukraine reconstruction can actually go on. So I think that are the contours within which they have to operate, and the most important part is that the Europeans have not been consulted by the United States, and it appears that neither has Ukraine, and Ukraine has been given a deadline of Thursday to abide by this agreement so that the United States can arrange further discussions with Russia to end this war.
Thank you for that comprehensive overview, Ambassador. Let's flesh out the specifics now. Just so we are clear, if you go by what you have shared with our viewers just now, what's in it for Ukraine? One wonders, I mean, based on what you have to say, no NATO membership, only EU membership at best. Zaporizhia plant will be shared with Russia. Ukraine will have to prune its armed forces personnel number. Will have to concede territory without doubt. So one wonders, isn't Zelensky right when he says this peace plan is lopsided in favor of Russia, it seems?
It is evident that he cannot win this war. He's surviving on American aid, which Americans don't want to give anymore, and a lot of European bluster and aid. Now, I think the Europeans need that armament exports to Ukraine to sustain their new emphasis on the defense industrial complex. But I don't think the Americans are quite ready to play that up. So the Americans are ready to pull out of Ukraine, provided they get reconstruction contracts. So there is a part which says that of the various Russian assets which are arrested, 200 billion would be used, out of which the Americans would have a right to half of them, and the Europeans will be asked to pitch up an equal amount from their pocket to reconstruct Ukraine. As you know that America already has a critical mineral agreement with the Ukraine, so they are going to benefit if peace returns. So it is indeed, as the Ukraine president says, a difficult decision, but all defeats are difficult. And this defeat is coming by the back door.
Indeed. Again, just so we are clear and viewers understand this better, instead of becoming a NATO member, what the plan proposes is that the Ukraine will get a NATO-style security guarantee from the US. Would that be enough, Ambassador, in your estimation, for Ukraine to come on board and accept this proposal?
Like many of the 28 points, this critical point, nobody quite knows how it will be implemented.
Right.
Will the Americans implement the security guarantee, or will they tell the Europeans to do so? And how does the security guarantee work? If there are Ukrainian missiles fired at Russia after the ceasefire, then this guarantee will not be operational. And if Russia is supposed to not attack Ukraine or any other country on its border, that seems to be one gain at Ukraine's cost. So I think there are 28 points. Most of them are not clearly defined, but what you can surmise from them, that it is not a happy day for Ukraine.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I will have to leave it at that. Ambassador Gurjeet Singh, thank you once again for joining us and sharing your perspectives with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.